All right, guys, got a little bit of action coming in here off of the trendy edge. I'll show you that here in a second. So we'll pull up the futures, and we've already covered a portion of our short on the downside here. There we go. So let's put this on a 5 minute, just kind of see what action has happened so far, and let's make sure you guys can hear me. Yep, we're good to go. All right. And let's go. Let's get back here to the room. Make sure I turn my audio on. How are you guys doing? Good. All right, so again, let's see. Good afternoon, everybody. So far, pretty slow start to the morning. You guys can see what's on the watch list for volatility. So, for volatility, what's on the watch list, man? Check out these trendy turn signals, right? We covered our short, not the full position, but some position down here at the trendy edge. So these are the same blueprints that I gave you guys last night. So I just want to make sure you guys understand that. So you may not see it all on the 5 minute chart, but it's all there. All right. And matter of fact, let's go to auto zoom. Get an idea. There it is right there, right? Looks crazy when I bunch it up like that. Same thing right here on the NASDAQ. And now I'm just going to zoom in here just to kind of show you what we're looking at. I'm going to point out several different factors. And when does Jerome actually talk? Is that like in 30 minutes? Like, what's the scoop? Bring these targets over. I'm gonna call these the Jerome zones. 1 minute. Oh, he's gonna peek his face on here. Get ready. I really hope something happens, right? I hope you're on the right side. If you're not, it's okay. Don't beat yourself up, guys. If you decided to trade into an event like this, anything can go down, that's for sure. And I would hope that you understand, if you decide to trade in this, especially with options, just trade. We went over that this morning. Trade with what you're comfortable losing because things can happen in milliseconds, okay? So, all right, let me point out just really quick. I'm going to freeze this just real fast so you could show your risk today. We bumped that up to 2.5 on the ES futures, NASDAQ. It says 7. Let's make that 10. So that means any trade you're taking, 7 to 10 points. You can see we came off the trendy edge here. Trendy edge here. We got the turn signals. This was a long off of this. And now we're coming into, this guy's going to show his face and all of a sudden things are just going to happen, right? But let's see how the levels work out today. Again, it could be a non-event where we hardly get a move today, and then all of a sudden, we're just kind of stuck watching paint dry. But I'm going to zoom this in just a tad. And if we do indeed break the low, my next cover will be, down here, 46.84 or so, something like that. If not, that's okay too. Now I'm net long, so this is just not from a future standpoint, guys. I am net long in my portfolio. And there we go. All right, so let's see here. Our META is now at about 40%. Let's go ahead and just close this. All right, there we go. Oh, was that like is that a bad fill? Which one was I looking at here? I think that was a bad fill. So we were long on META. SPX we're up about 240% on here. And let's make sure we don't get too far. All right, 330%. Let's see what we can get. I don't know if I want to try and pin with, volatility on a butterfly. That might be kind of difficult to do, that's for sure. We're just really looking for a percentage gain. Yeah. So, let's see. Cancel, replace order. Let's see if we can get out like at $2. I don't know if we will. Let's see. Did we get out? Nothing yet. I'm convinced that Shopify. Let's see if we can get our targets. That'd be awesome. To the upside here. Then remember what I told you guys this morning? If we jump up into the red box by chance, if we can actually get up here or close to it, be looking for the idea of a put position just for fun. Okay. Again, we're net long, so just for fun. And you can see our Nasdaq's pretty darn close. Almost there. And just because we get to red, I'm going to show you guys a couple tricks. And you guys can hear me, right? In the trendy room here. All right, good, good. This would have been perfect this morning if we could have dipped into the green box for sure. But they kind of kept us at equilibrium. Yeah, I'm still in Netflix as well. Those are looking great. Let's go ahead and take some. This MDB was acting crazy the whole entire time. Let's see if how much time we got on that. Yeah, it's this week, so I'm gonna sell right here. I know it's not that impressive, but remember where it was just not too long ago. And I'm gonna get ready to buy. And look, I'm really jumping the gun here because we could go up to 47.37, but I'm gonna get ready to buy a butterfly to the downside just in case at around 47.10. So we're gonna pull up SPX. Remember, I have a butterfly on the call side as well. Wait, we're at 46.70. Just give me 1 second here. points away. I'm going to say the 45.50s. All right, so I'm going to butterfly to the downside as well. Yeah, sorry about that. 60 by 50 by 40. And again, in the event, let's just say it pulls back. It may or may not. So Jessica, I was showing you guys on Roku. Let me just show you really quick, okay? I don't know if you saw me charting it on TV, on TradingView. But let me go ahead and show you that real quick. So see right here, this is the imbalance that I was showing you guys this morning. So we simply broke down below the cloud. Roku found demand or imbalance out of this big move here. And this was a great place to also like going forward to add, if you would, just in case. You never know. Like you said, you never know. However, prices do like to come back to imbalance. All right, so we hit the red box up here on the NASDAQ, and this is a trick that I want to show you guys. You don't necessarily have to go short, but if you're feeling aggressive, you can. One thing that I like to do, we're going to take the Fibonacci's, and we are going to measure the chaotic candle itself and come up to the pivot high once it starts to pull back, okay? So like this. Just like that. And if you want to be conservative and not try to short the red box, then you do a if this then that scenario. Basically, the bulls are in charge here as long as they can hold a 38.2 of your measurement. And I don't want you to try and get short. It just doesn't make sense if you don't want to be aggressive. Conservative, wait to see if those levels break. Okay? Conservative, wait for a trendy turn signal to pop up. If a trendy turn signal pops up, then we start to feel a little bit better about the short itself. Okay? Hmm? Those things that just keep you on the right side without, sitting up here and trying to convince people that you know how to tell the future, right? Just use a if this then that scenario. Now our SPX is about 270 on one side, so I'm going to try to, at this point, I'm going to try and get out of the call side. Does anybody remember how much we pay for those? All right, so we got out right there for 200%. All right, now it'd be awesome if our put works as well. So let's get in here. And see, this keeps you on the right side, guys. So a lot of supply and demand traders, they'll find levels and then they'll just try to go short because of whatever reason. And if you just apply this really simple Fibonacci rule, it'll keep you on the right side. And then let's go ahead and put a sell in for the SPX put butterflies. And we'll see if we can get like 350 or something like that. You could do less if you want. All right. Oh yeah. Sorry. There you go. How's that? It's also on my main page. So I'm actually watching futures on both screens. Sorry about that. All right. Notice how we pulled back here around the 23.6. And the EMAs, they like to catch up with price, but a lot of times during these chaotic moves, we're creating imbalance in the market. Think about it. Like, are there enough buyers to sustain prices at these levels when price moves so quickly? A lot of people sit on their hands and don't trade, and so they just kind of, you know, they miss out on the opportunity. And when we run out of buyers, we're going to run back to that opportunity, which will typically come in this area right here. But again, you still have almost 8 points to the upside that we could see here. So it's almost like the NASDAQ, the canary over here, is waiting for us to see if we can get up there or not. I'm okay either way if we do or don't. And during this entire move, Shopify does not want to. I'm convinced that Shopify has some serious issues. Like it's got a personality problem. It doesn't like to play nice. I mean, Google too, you know. How did all the other guys do? Let's see. Armada, we picked that up when it was red. Apple is looking pretty good. What else we got in here? Costco, beautiful. We've already closed Costco though. And I feel like levels here are getting a little. Again, still not a short here. The butterfly is simply a play that's low risk, high return. In the event we actually get some kind of pullback to the mean, meaning back to the cloud. Okay. Things keep popping off my watch list. That happens every once in a while with Thinkorswim. Gotta be careful. Amazon also not participating. You know, uh, Nvidia came off of my watch list as well. What is going on here? Up $7. How many of you guys took that Nvidia with me yesterday before the close? Not bad. So, do you guys see what I meant when I talked about this entire scenario today? We were net long in our portfolios, right? And one way to address today is one, to have the levels, but two, you don't have to sit on your hands. There's other ways of approaching the market. We can easily jump into spreads. We can go just a little bit out of the money. There's so many different things that we can do to still play in the market and still make money. Now, another thing is like when you think the market can't continue up, we look at things like the higher time frame. Okay. And all of these things, why I took Meta earlier was actually based off of the chart that I shared with you guys. This is an inside and up formation, okay? Inside and then up. And I wanted to see the trendy edge hit, and you guys can see we hit that level just the other day, but I was looking for another push in there. So I go to the smaller time frame to see, okay, where would I want to buy? Well, if you didn't notice, when we bought when it was red, it came into the trendy edge. All right. So that's all we did. We just waited, we used our indicator, and we went long. And then you get to reap the benefits when we get this pop. Now, what would have happened if it completely didn't work? Well, we went just a tad out of the money, and we're playing with money that we are comfortable with losing. All right. But we're not just like straight up. If I say lotto in the room, 99% of the time, all it means is that I'm still using my levels in the strategy, but I'm simply saying that time is against us, or there could be an event that could, kind of change things very quickly for us. That's all. All right. Again, guys, just really quick update here on the futures. The futures are my guide to the portfolio itself. And you can see that price continues to hold the 23.6 and the 38.2. Now I'm going to bring that up on my main so you guys can see. 1 second here. Give me 1 second. There we go. All right. And this is what I mean. No reason to go short. We're holding the 23 and the 38.2. And right here, same thing, holding the 23.6. Now, if it's okay with you all, I'm going to take these off, okay? Because, well, actually, I'm just going to make a box, all right? I don't want it to get too noisy with the fibs. So for right now, we're going to use the 50 and the 23.6 as our support, okay? So again, I'm going to use 38.2 and the 23.6 for support on the NASDAQ, all right? I'm going to take this off. And again, if we make a new higher high, then of course, these levels change just a tad. So right now, because we're making a new pivot high, you got to imagine that this comes up just a tad. All right. But another cool thing about math is when you start putting all this together, see, we already had these levels, right? So when we're above those levels, these become support. And now that support actually falls right between the 23 and the 50. And this actually falls between the 23 and the 38. So I'm going to move this box up to our targets now that we had on here. And I'm going to move this box up to this target since we're making new highs. And again, all this box is representing is the possibility that if price comes back here, we will be supported. And the reason why, not only because of Fibonacci, but because of our indicator. So our cloud is now a reference point of inside a zone or a Fibonacci zone, and the same thing over here. Okay. It should be. Yeah, and so I have both charts. So we'll pull some Fibonacci's up again here in a second. It really is hard to be a bear right now because if you're bearish, you're just getting wrecked. I mean, seriously. And I hope that, and it's no offense or to make anybody feel bad because there's nothing about losing that I think you should make fun of people or anything like that. But if there's been something that's been keeping you bearish for the last several weeks, get rid of it. Whether it's a person, a blog, whether it's somebody's analysis who is not good, I would just put it away. because they probably haven't served you very well. One thing about 2024, if you want to put something in your journal, get rid of things that don't serve you. And if it means bad analysis and bad charting and just bad process, get rid of it. What's never chase in WBD? What is that? WBD. Oh, yeah. I'm like, what? Which one? Was that Warner Brothers? Yeah. That was an old ACDC setup. Yep. So we're in the red box here, definitely extended, and it looks like we're going to hit our target up here. So how can you stay in a trade like this to the upside? Again, just use your Fibonacci's and apply the 23 and 38%. And if that's too far away for you, then drill your 5-minute down into a 3-minute, and then your 3-minute cloud will be a little bit closer to price. And then you could just say, okay, as long as price can stay above the cloud, I'll stay in the trade. All right, guys. So, yeah, Netflix is up quite a bit as well. We're up 128% there. So, there's just so much time left, but I also want to take a little bit off the table. And you can get about $5 for these now. Just have so much. We still have 65 days. That'd be such a beautiful trade. Let's just leave it alone. God, man. Do you have my indicators on TradingView? Yeah, so if you, I'm pretty sure, but see this right here, Tony? Right there? Hollow candles. Click that and see how it says hollow. And remember, hollow candles close at the top, filled candles close at the bottom. This makes it easier for you guys to understand where your inside and up and inside and down formations are. Now, one thing you may be asking yourself is if you have no position on, you're just kind of chilling, you're like, yeah, but how am I supposed to take that trade? To be very fair with you, the best way to take this trade is SPX or SPY. You had these options right here to get long. You had the trendy turn that came in at the trendy edges. Trendy edges are demand when we are above them. Notice that we hit that demand. You're in at this trade. You take SPX butterflies, spreads out of the money. Remember what I told you this morning. Are you low on the curve or were you high on the curve? Can you guys please answer that for me? Were you low on the curve or high on the curve on ES futures? Seriously. Were you low or high on the curve on the ES futures? Yeah, Tim G, I noticed that too. No, you're not high on the curve. If this is the supply zone and this is the demand zone and price was here, were you closer to the top or were you closer to the bottom? Yeah, you're low on the curve. So when we're low on the curve, we're looking to buy calls. Yeah, well, now we're high on the curve. Sorry. Yeah, we're high on the curve now for sure. Yep. And I feel like I really am a little OCD. Like this looks really messy to me with all these lines on here. So I'm gonna try to clean this up a little bit. Put those right there. Okay. And let's go ahead and do this and pull this here. And then what I want to do, I'm actually going to take all of the regular lines out of here. We're going to keep the liquidity chop on there. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to take that off. Going to take that off. I'm going to leave that. All right. And let's open this up just a little. Just trying to clean it up a little bit, guys. So Tim G over on YouTube made a good point here, is that the rest of the market is just kind of you know, very interesting, very interesting stuff. I mean, it's definitely, you're either in the right stock or you're not. And this could be one of the more frustrating things about trading, is when you see such a rip and you're in a name and it just won't move. It just will not move. It's like, yeah. Definitely would pay to be trading SPY and SPX. Yep. What happens in 3 minutes? Yeah. Oh shit, he hasn't even talked yet. So that's what I mean, right? Prices push up into a supply zone before he starts talking. It sure is, Johnny Sills. Yep, that's the supply target that we set up yesterday. Were you asking? It'd be awesome if we get a little pullback here so we can close out our SPX butterfly to the downside as well. See, this would have been a great scenario while we were just sitting going sideways to trade a strangle on your spies just using the charts. And let's not forget about your neutral strategy that you get every Sunday here on YouTube, right? I can't make this stuff up, right? You're long above the green line here in the NASDAQ. You're already about to hit your next target at 402. And over here, you're long above 459, and you're close to hitting your 469 target. And all's playing out just like we said on the quarterly charts as well. So what is messing you up, right? If you're not doing well, what is messing you up? You got to figure that out. If you guys are having a hard time, what's messing you up? You keep entering late. So the only thing is that I would tell you, the solution to that is most likely you're entering late because you're scared. Stop being scared. If you know how much money you're going to lose before you take the trade, you will not be scared anymore. You need to look at it differently. Stop saying you're going to make money and start saying this is how much I'll lose. JK, are you just kidding? Are you being serious? Dead serious? Oh man. Here at Simpler or somewhere else? Elsewhere. Gotcha. All right, I sold Netflix for 120%, guys. I'll jump back in a little bit later with a different type of scenario. Okay. All right, trimming some of IWM. All right, so there's that support box that I just showed you a few minutes ago. See how that works? See how we pull right back in there and then went bid? You guys all see that over here on the NASDAQ? All that is us just using some Fibonacci's, guys. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean that it's full on send mode and it's time to get like extra long. I just want you to understand from a long perspective, if you're long, you need to understand where prices are going to be supported so that you don't get scared out of a trade. Okay. So the idea is if you did well and you bought at the trendy turn down here and you're kicking ass and you're like, let's just say you have two contracts of QQQ or you're three long in the micros or you're three long in the minis, you just say to yourself, okay, I'm going to trim up here in this red box and I'm going to trim again, and then you go, I got one more, but I'm not getting rid of that one unless this box fails. Does everybody understand that? Tim G, for me, just not sure how much time I need on trades. Like, I chart out a 4 hour supply and demand zone and I'll hop in like three DTE options and I'll get thetaed out. So, one thing that could help you, Tim, is just looking at the ATR, man. Right? Check your ATR on that trade and look on what day are you taking that trade. So if X trade has moved up already $3 for the week and you take it on a 4 hour demand zone, but it's Wednesday afternoon and the ATR is 4, then you only got $1 that they're averaging in that could work. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, pay attention to your ATR on the stock. All right, guys. So the zone worked really well there. That keeps you in the trade. You're happy. And I still don't have a trendy turn. Now, this is what I'm going to do. Let's see. Right. Yeah, you're welcome, man. Good job. 300%. Good job. The Powell short worked? What do you mean, Iowa? I don't see a short. When did you short? On that little pullback to the box? That one? Ah, okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, just the look of him. Yeah. And we're just gonna keep doing this right here. And right here, guys, if it's feeling a little euphoric. So what I'm going to do, and listen, you guys know me, I'm super bullish. But I think this is a great opportunity for me to start looking of out the money puts on SPY 60 days out. Okay. So I'm going to 16 February and I'm talking way out the money here. Okay. So I'm going to do a little 38 delta and sell the 30s. It's going to be $1.40. And I'm just going to scale in. $65 days out. That is a buy to open. And what time is it? 1:30? We still have an hour and a half. Jeez Louise. And let's go ahead and reset our anchor here on the FIPS. Again, scale in, very small position. Because there's nothing worse than being a bear. Seriously. I mean, trying to like call a top and get run over, it's like the worst feeling. So we don't want to lean and be biased. We're doing it technically. It was a little stretched on a couple time frames. We're all aware of that. Yeah, that NQ 38.2 worked really well, didn't it? Did you take it? That's how you get in a trade that you're like unsure of. That's how you get into trades that are moving fast. You keep anchoring your Fibonacci's and you look at the zone, right, or the box between the 23 and 38, and if you're comfortable with that risk, you take the trade. It looks like our AMD butterflies are starting to become profitable as well. So we're just going to keep anchoring here. We're still in the red box. We need to play some lullabies for anybody that's bearish out there, because this is getting crazy. I just know my buddy that owns the hedge fund is probably like cussing. He's cussing, man. I guarantee you he's just like so mad right now. Oh man. This is like GameStop but in the stock market. The gray box at that time was the 2338.2%. That's where you want to buy and go long. We dip down into there, went straight back up. Yep. And so each time we anchor, right? Each time we anchor, we're going to have a new one. So what we're going to do, and I'm going to take this off. I'm trying to clean up my charts as we sit here and speak. Okay. I'm going to put this right here, just like that. That's going to be our new one. And then we're going to come up here. We're going to grab this one. It's going to be the new one, just like that. Wait, where'd you go? I guess I can't see it because of it. Let's take the red off for right now because you can't see it. So I'm going to put it right there. Yeah, some of these that were supposed to be strong are just like not that strong. Right? You guys see that? I'm gonna take some off of the shop. Just half. Just reducing it. Now the difference between us and almost every service out there is that Trendy Trading here at Simpler Trading uses real alerts straight from the API so people can see exactly what we're doing. and they don't have to wonder if their coach or mentor actually does what they say, which is pretty neat. So we're already pushing through the red zone. All right. So this means I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board here in a minute if this doesn't work. We'll see though. Notice how that EMA is catching up to the 23 and 38. That tells me that this shit is bullish. It just keeps following, man. It's like, I'm coming, baby. Wait up for me. 47.30. Where are we? Oh, you mean to the downside, Chris? Because, I mean, we passed it, right? Are you looking at an old one? Or oh, SPX. My bad, man. Yeah, sorry, brother. I was wrong. My apologies. All right, guys. I'm reducing uh, also Google on this pop for positive. It's really going to have to step up for me. Like, I mean, to me, and I could be wrong here, the market feels extended. Google barely moved. And the last thing that I want, like I told you this morning, is for me to look back and go, yeah, I saw the signs. Like, I've been there too many times. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I gotta press on, man. You, do you guys agree with me or no? Like, do you feel where I'm coming from? Like, we still have a very high delta position here of 84 delta options. So, it's great, but you can't sit here and tell if we don't keep rallying like this, what is Google doing? What if we pull back a percent or two? Google is going to get smashed, and I don't feel comfortable. So what I'm trying to do now is just be a good steward of my money and be like, I'm okay if I'm wrong. All right? I'm definitely okay. Now I'm not okay because as soon as I sell, the bid and the ask get tighter. Did you notice that? Price did not even change. All right? Check out our options. So Google, it was up 36 cents when I sold it, and it would only let me get out at 560, and now you could get out between 580 and 590. So it's a lot tighter. That's called criminal. I say a little prayer for you. Sorry, that's me singing to anybody that has been stuck on a bearish side of trades. I do. I sure do. Yep. Still have FTX open. Is it up? That does not expire till next week. Yeah, it's completely sideways. Terry, you answered that too quickly. I feel like you were in a room just watching FedEx. Man, can you believe our IWMs are already 30% and we have 292 days to go? That's the second or third time I've been in them though. Yeah, Corey. That's the thing, right? And let me see on this SPX if I can buy back the body. I don't know how expensive it is right now, so I may not do it. Cool. Give me 1 second. Oh man. All right, I bought back the body. All right. And let's fix our pivot there. All right, so basically I'm sitting at the 4660 and that is my risk, $50. Okay? I'm starting to feel like this thing wants to take off to 4770, but I'm going to leave it alone. Now the idea is if you can get anything for more than like $1.50 for the put side, then we didn't lose anything on the put butterfly. And but they're definitely on a mission. Yeah. Well, you guys get the point though. Just keep holding the 23 and 38% until it doesn't work anymore. All right. Yep, yep. This looks like capitulation to the upside, Doug. No, that's so you can get short under the 38.2. What I'm saying is you should be long. You have the trendy turn signals, don't you? You have the edges, right, Tony? So don't get confused. What I'm saying is you stay long unless the price is closed underneath the 38.2. Yeah, if you're one of those traders, you're just sitting here waiting to get short. That's not how I trade, man. You got to go find somebody else to do that. That's just a waste of time. I can't stand when people just try to sit here and short the top of the market. You know, it's so like played out, man. You just got to stay patient. You can scale in, right? But this technique, what I'm showing you, is an uptrend, and what we're doing is identifying the 23 and 38. Well, if you're long, Tony, on this entire position, do you need to go short? Even if it did that? Or are you happy with your longs? See what I mean? It's hard, man. For me, it's like, how much do you got to sit in front of the table, man? I'm sorry, but when you talk like that, it reminds me of playing at the craps table and it's 2 o'clock in the morning and all your money's gone. You're like, oh, just one more trip to the ATM because I'm not happy with 5 grand. I got to make another 5 grand. It's like, man, ooh, today would have been so awesome for 0 DTE SPX calls, huh? Low deltas. And all you had to do is just aim for the targets. Let me see. Ow. Yeah, that's wrong. Don't pay attention to that. You bought back the body, right? Oh, Roman. I like how you put you're just joking in there real quick. That's some funny stuff, man. Jesus. Making me laugh. Ah, man, my shoulder hurts really bad. Did something to it. Gonna reduce that as well. Amazon. Same. And then we're gonna come over here and get back to the neutral strategy. All right, and we're gonna go for 476 for Friday. We could put a butterfly around it if we want to. All right, and all we're doing is just targeting the levels. Okay, so we're gonna do say buy. And make sure I got this right. So I'll probably do 472, 471. Yeah, let's go right here. 500% on the Costco. Sweet, man. Congratulations. That's what I'm talking about. Who says we can't make money? Nobody. So people are literally bidding up and paying over prices right now. They just can't get in fast enough. All right, so just got ourselves some butterflies. Those pay out really nice if we hit our targets to the upside. Yeah, that's insane in the membrane. I mean, DE came all the way back. Can y'all believe that? Who would have thought? Huh? Who would have thought? Literally, all these positions that were just kind of chilling are just kind of saying, okay, hold my beer. Who's that little guy from The Bachelor Night or whatever it's called? You can't mess with me. IWM is almost at 40%, guys. Holy shit. Hey, wait, Shopify is almost back to norm? What a turn of events, man. I saw Roku, Doug. It came into a demand zone, but I just my place is to what I've learned is just if somebody takes a trade in here, I'll give you my input, but I'm not gonna say like add to it or anything like that. But you guys, like, there was a demand zone down there, literally, and I get it. If you're fully allocated, it makes it harder. If you scale in, it makes it so much easier. You scale in, but the problem is I find myself when I scale in, especially if I'm right, then my scale in goes way up, and then I don't want to add to it anymore. That's the only drawdown, in my opinion. We're waiting on that news, baby. It's funny. All right, let's go with Amazon 160s. Not for this week. I heard you, degenerates. Oh my god, we're going to fuck. Sorry, I almost cussed here. We're going to 47.70. This is crazy. Oh man. AMD's going back to 140. Oh damn, Matt, are you kidding? What was that on? Oh man, I feel that, dude. Yeah, even I'm surprised, man. It's a little bit bigger than I was expecting. Oh my god. How about you guys that were trying to short micros? Did you get stopped out? Yeah, Starbucks is down. Hey, imagine that. So, hey guys, you do pay attention to my charts, right? Where did Tesla come into? Where did Tesla come into? Boom. You kidding me? Best charts in the world. All you got to do is execute them. That's all you got to do, man, is execute them. I mean, you guys saw I just closed my market there because it didn't quite. We were probably about $1 away from getting filled on the rest. Nice, Matt. Trader Ash, I'm not sure what you're talking about. I'm just kidding. Oh my god, man. John Deere is up $15. What was your posting? What posting are you talking about? Ah, I didn't see it. What did you say? You reset your fibs after each new high. So you keep the bottoms where they were. Mm. Oh, this is perfect going into the end of the year, guys. It really is. It's like perfect, man. Just selling positions, getting back to flat. Right before Christmas. We're gonna have so much fun. Oh my god. Now, if they could just slam this down to 4,700, I'd be so happy. What's the rest of our peeps doing here in at Simpler? I don't have any other rooms open. Any of you guys anywhere else where you're just like killing it? I think yesterday John had a nice Nvidia trade that's probably maybe paying out now. I don't know. Nvidia is actually not up that much. Just closed it. Nice, nice. All right, 560. We got earnings on 118 for Netflix. So we just closed our long position. We'll buy this into earnings. That's our earnings trade. They have earnings on the 18th after market, and this expires on the 19th. This is if we can get a clean breakout. We're not sure. It's definitely high on the curve. Really big move, but it's cheap. And we could definitely see 550, 560. So are we going to go in the money on DE? Yeah, I saw Adobe, Lori, but I tried to do some spreads earlier, and they don't look good unless I just go way out of the money. Amazon still barely moved. I put a video out for you guys. Um, Look at Roku. Holy butt. It's positive. You gotta put that imbalance down there. Don't forget to look, guys, in the future. This is see if they have is- Oh, you did exactly what you're supposed to do, Mel, for sure. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You mean as far as like the reaction in the market? Yeah, yeah. That's not even, I mean, dang, Melissa, you did such a good managing it, you know? I have I have so many trades. Oh my gosh. Like that was perfectly, man. You can't know that the market's going to rip, This thing went from 96 to 101. There's just absolutely no way. Oh, really? Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I think when you took that trade at the lower edge, your stop is perfect because at the end of the day, I mean, we're talking you did that Tuesday afternoon, you wake up Wednesday afternoon, mid Wednesday, it gets stopped. And looking at the time variable and looking at the bottom of that zone, I mean, who would say on a Tuesday, Wednesday to go, hey, I'm gonna go long as we stay above 93. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody would do that. That's how. Yeah, right. That's what I'm. Yeah, yeah. Right. Exactly. If this was a swing trade, like swing as in a couple weeks, it's definitely one of those things where it's like if I were to scale in, it'd be something I'd be interested in. The only like this DE trade that I'm looking at, I don't know how many the last 2 days I thought about just going just hammering it and it just keep buying. Because if I go back and look at it, it's kind of like the same situation. If I come over here and look at DE, let's see. This is actually pretty crazy. And by the way, I think these went to 20 or 40 cents. So look at my chart right here, Melissa. I can't make this up. This was the plan that I sent out. So to your point, right? The only like when you're looking at okay, my targets are up here, and you got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Let's say Wednesday you come back to your ad area again. You got to look at the time variable. It's like what is the likelihood buying at 358 we're going to hit 380 this week? It's so low. So honestly, it's just like this Roku trade. It's like it doesn't really make sense, but man, if you would have, and I think Melissa brings up a very good point, this kind of scenario that happens in the market is not one to think that every time you get some imbalance in the market like that this could happen. it's actually a low probability because there's a lot of times we can actually come into these levels and go sideways for 2 days. And then you run out of time and then your trade works for you. That's really frustrating too. So, yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's where I was when I first remember my whole story about finding craps for the first time years and years ago. It's just, I mean, it is the same situation. It's like, I found $100 bill on the floor. I rolled craps for 94 minutes, I believe it was, or 97 minutes without hitting a seven. And I thought you could do that every time you play craps. Guess what? How many thousands and thousands of dollars did I lose thinking, it's easy to roll dice for 97 minutes? The probabilities are lower. The probabilities were higher that there was an imbalance down there and you would get a bounce. But to think that we could bounce all the way back up like that is pretty insane. That's for sure. And again, to your point, it's depending on the plan. If your plan's to do that, stick to it. If your plan's to scale in, scale in. And I think that's why, like, for example, I think my trade on DE is now positive, and the plan was to scale in. So imagine, okay, so if I said, hey, I'm scaling in, because I did add down there, I think once or twice, I can't remember. Imagine if I said I was scaling in, Melissa, and then that happened, and I didn't scale in. And that's the part that I keep telling you guys about. I used to do that. And that's how I got better, is because I would say something and then I'd find myself clamming up and not being able to do it. And I got so tired of basically not doing what I say I do. I didn't want to be the person that said, hey, look at this chart, look how awesome it works, but not be able to trade it. Hmm. Oh man, that's awesome. That so you only bought one? Oh yeah, 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 yeah. So but here's the thing. I want to talk about Celsius real quick. I'm going to take these fibs off this chart. Celsius, I was talking to my buddy last night, who we were talking about earlier, and wait a minute, what is this? SPY 42%. Are these calls or puts? That can't be right. Did I accidentally remove? No. Wait. Sorry guys, I'm talking to myself here. Oh shit. I see. And I actually sold naked. I don't know if you guys caught that or not. Yep. Did you guys catch that? Anybody catch that besides me? This was our position. Goodness. So I'm going to cover that really quick. That's at 52%. So we sold naked. I was naked over here. Come on. Get out. Get out. There we go. So going back to CELH, guys, CELH is only 60% ownership of institutions right now. And I think I've told you this for the last year. I think that is an amazing stock fundamentally. Technically, I haven't looked at it, but Melissa did, and obviously it's working. I just think that's really, really neat. So notice that we broke the 23.38. Am I going to get paid on the downside here? Not yet. Son of a bitch. There's the gray box on ES Futures. Try to buy it there. Nope. And I didn't realize how much we moved. Those 46.60s are pretty far out of the money. 25 points. That's actually not a lot considering how much we just moved. But that little gray box right there is going to try to hold. You guys can see we had a trendy turn signal there as well. Looks like that. I'm going to look at CELH here in a second. Tell you guys earlier I made no bake cookies last night. Oh my god, they're so good. I grew up on those. I feel like it's a southern thing. You ever had them, Melissa? Oh my gosh, they're so good. They're called no bake cookies, and you cook them. It's basically butter, like on a stovetop, butter, sugar, a little bit of milk, cocoa, boil it. You can find the recipe anywhere. Boil it once it starts boiling it for a minute. Throw a little bit of vanilla in it. Throw in quick oats and then some peanut butter. Stir it up. Throw it on some parchment paper or foil. Let them kind of get a little bit harder. They are absolutely delicious. You don't bake them, right? So mm-mm. It's a portable one. Yeah, I'm absolutely shocked how loud this keyboard is. It's actually like just blows my mind. It's so funny. Somebody on my YouTube page last night was like, "Let's all chip in and buy John a quieter keyboard." It's funny. Ha ha. Oh, let's look at CELH. Um, And how about Kava? I'm talking about the stock. We need to be looking at that as well into next year. Might be a fun one to trade. Um,
Gamma strike is at 480.
I'm gonna listen to Henry guys for a few. I need to take a break anyways. We only got about 30 minutes left, so.
Comparative analysis, or I look at anyone else's trades. That would seem to be a video suggestion as well. Remember that I'm just
Okay.
offering you my view.
Oh yeah, the monthly's beautiful.
Your trading plan first, then the recommendations, and I kind of come last in that. If you think about places for it to pause between finding the retracement, that as being an strike, I think that's a perfectly fine idea. What kind of pullback would we need to see if we could buy it more? The thing you really want to try to get is Friday's expiration. Because if that does trigger any weakness into Monday and Tuesday of next week, that's where you want to have some cash on hand. Well, let's just take it one step at a time. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves here. Are you using the daily time frame on Hero? I thought 30 minutes. So daily is every time I've heard Brent talk about it, it is daily. And that is honestly the only thing I've ever used. So when you go into settings here, I guess I had it the infinity view there. But it should be essentially the same. I don't do any other modifications to smaller frame. I will look at the put call. I will look at those comparisons for the next expiration. So at most, it will be those 4 metrics. Those are then also plotted with price. Compare those. Left axis. This is something I've had to get used to a little bit. Is that this, levels over here are just, maybe possibly more important than what's going on here. The 2 of them, pretty accurate map. Looks like they're trying to ramp it again, right? Turning back up, action through the puts. I always call it nondescript. It's like it just doesn't say much to me. And I know some people are like, oh, trying to figure out all the words. Sometimes the word is that. It's not that much to read into them. Times where it's kind of saying, all right, puts aren't doing much. They're still ramping. It doesn't really seem like 76 like I was speaking to go. And then as you ask Matrix, like what's the spot gamma data showing you? Covering it with you in time as detailed as I can, right? So we just finished talking about it's like, all right, it eased off. Because pausing at 4,700 is almost a given. It's at least gonna. But after you get that retracement, now bulls aren't letting go. Bulls have got this right where they want it. I just think we're days, not weeks, away from fear of missing out. That is to say that the markets are going to keep lifting off. It's going to be this panic rush into equities, and you traded options with size that you can get 100% of. I find it tough to give traders advice to say, oh, buy these as they're so extended. But it is the way to do it. Just make sure you do kind of size where if the S&Ps do have some kind of, my goodness, you could come in 100 points here and still be okay. So just make sure you understand that. Buy your favorite names. It's Meta, it's Microsoft, it's Nvidia. You guys probably have questions too. Microsoft did turn down from that 618, which is really interesting. I'm not going to make too much of it. Microsoft is still generally bullish. involved in these markets. Nice little push up into the 1 hour extension, back to the mean and hold it well. One way of thinking about propulsion is when you can test the mean, close above the 5 EMA all in the same day. That's usually strong. I'd like to see that those markets can continue to show us a risk on environment. Why not? ENX breaking into fresh new lows. So I've done this chart with you guys in extreme detail. And use analysis, saying once you start breaking these little families of symmetry, probably at the bigger families of symmetry, that measured move, retracement high, that 618 puts you below 4%. Every model crazy.